Hello everyone, nice to see you again. We hope you like our videos. You can hit the bell and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Thank you for watching and we look forward to seeing you again. Piero di Cosimo. January 2, 1462, April 12, 1522, also known as Piero di Lorenzo, was an Italian Renaissance painter. He is most famous for the mythological and allegorical subjects he painted in the late Quattrocento. He is said to have left these to return to religious subjects under the influence of Savonarola, the preacher who wielded a huge reign in Florence in the 1490s, and had a similar effect on Botticelli. The high Renaissance style of the new century had little influence on him, and he retained the uncomplicated realism of his figures, which combined with an often whimsical treatment of his subjects to create the distinctive atmosphere of his works. Vasari has many stories about his eccentricity, and the mythological subjects have an individual and idiosyncratic fascination. He trained under Cosimo Rosselli, whose daughter he married, and helped him with his frescoes in the Sistine Chapel. He was also influenced by early Netherlandish painting, and many works feature busy landscapes, often forests seen up close. Several of his most notable secular works are in the long lying-down format used for paintings inlaid in cassone wedding chests or spalliera headboards or wainscoting. He was apparently famous for designing temporary decorations for carnival and other festivities. The son of a goldsmith, Lorenzo di Piero, Piero was born in Florence and apprenticed to the artist Cosimo Rosselli, from whom he took his popular name and whom he assisted in painting the Sistine Chapel in 1481. In the first phase of his career, Piero was influenced by the Dutch naturalism of Hugo van der Goes, whose Portinari triptych, now in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, helped to lead all Florentine painting into new channels. Cosimo most likely inherited from him a love of the landscape and a thorough knowledge of the growth of flowers and animal life. Hugo van der Goes' manner is particularly evident in the Adoration of the Shepherds, in the Berlin Museum. He traveled to Rome in 1482 with his master, Rosselli. He proved himself a true child of the Renaissance by depicting subjects from classical mythology in such images as Venus, Mars and Cupid, the death of Procris, the Perseus and Andromeda series, in the Uffizi and many others. Inspired by Vitruvius' account of human evolution, Piero's mythical compositions show the bizarre presence of hybrid forms of man and animal, or the man learning to use fire and tools. The masses of nudes in these works show Luca Signorelli's influence on Piero's art. During his lifetime, Piero acquired a reputation for eccentricity, a reputation reinforced and exaggerated by later commentators such as Giorgio Vasari, who included a biography of Piero di Cosimo in his Lives of the Artists. He was reportedly afraid of thunder and so pyrophobic that he rarely cooked his food. He subsisted on a diet of hard-boiled eggs, which he prepared 50 at a time while boiling glue for his artwork. He also opposed any cleaning of his workshop or pruning of the fruit trees of his orchard. He lived, wrote Vasari, more like a beast than a man. If, as Vasari claims, he spent the last years of his life in dismal retirement, the change was probably due to the preacher Girolamo Savonarola, under whose influence he turned his attention back to religious art. His master Rosselli's death may also have affected Piero's bleak older years. The Immaculate Conception with the Saints, in the Uffizi, and the Holy Family, in Dresden, illustrate the religious fervor to which he was stimulated by Savonarola. Promulgatio Legis Script per Moisum, fresco by Cosimo Rosselli. With the exception of the landscape background in Rosselli's fresco of the Sermon on the Mount, In the Sistine Chapel, there is no record of any fresco work by his brush. On the other hand, Piero enjoyed a great reputation as a portrait painter. The most famous of his work is in fact the portrait of a Florentine noblewoman, Simonetta Vespucci, mistress of Giuliano de' Medici. According to Vasari, Piero excelled in designing processions and triumphal processions for the pleasure-loving youth of Florence, and gives a vivid description of one such procession at the close of the 1507 Carnival, illustrating the triumph of death. Piero di Cosimo exerted considerable influence on his fellow pupils Albertinelli and Bartolomeo della Porta, and was Andrea del Sarto's master. Vasari gave Piero's date of death as 1521, and this date is still repeated by many sources, including the Encyclopaedia Britanniae.